This music's chilling.
Hello world.
Hello world, my name is Cuffs, and welcome to Trick and Treat, a visual novel. I love visual novels. They're really the only reason why I read, because they put pictures in front of me and make it a game. Yay. But, for today, I'm not entirely sure. I think for this episode, I'm just gonna pretty much turn off the face cam. Like, I'm still gonna record it, still gonna be here, but you guys gonna just close your eyes, okay? And just listen to the beautiful music and the soothing sounds of my voice. Yes, soothing. Let's begin. I'm just kidding, I'm not going to talk like that. Alright, let's just start. See where this takes us. Ready, and go. Whoa! Loud. Let's begin. Try to stay calm. The sounds of our steps, combined with that of the occasional nocturnal animal, is the only thing we can hear. It's terribly dark in this place, with dense vegetation makes it impossible to see the sky or light from the moon. Our flashlights are the only thing that light up our way. At times this one begs to not run out of battery. At times like this, one begs to not run out of battery. We walk without knowing what we are really looking for, or better said, for no reason. We are just a group of boys bored with our lives, trying to create lasting memories on this night, instead of just staying home doing nothing. Today is October 31st, All Hallows Eve, better known as Halloween. 3 young men walk around a dark, but up until now, nothing special forest. Me being one of them. We are doing it to prove our courage. It's too bad there isn't a girl here to see how brave we are. Seeing it like that, one could say this is a meaningless effort. For a moment, I stopped to look at my watch. It's 1:49 a.m. That means we have been walking aimlessly for more than 2 hours now. I'm sure that many people would find a place like this terrifying, but once you get used to it, the fear disappears, making it feel like normal. What makes us afraid of the dark is that we cannot know what hides in it, what lurks in the shadows. But this is clearly an empty darkness. At the moment, I sigh, feeling how tired my legs are. What is the point of being here? Clearly, we had already demonstrated what we wanted. It would be best to return. I should tell them. I was about to speak when suddenly the atmosphere in the forest became strange. Suddenly a cold chill ran through my body. It was like any other chill, except it was not going away. For no reason, the air's temperature dropped from one second to the other. So much so, my breath became visible, turning into mist. It doesn't end there. The air is now filled with rotten smell, just a little short of being unbearable. Images of worms and flies soon appear in my mind, giving me the unpleasant feeling. We all stop at that moment. What's happening? Oh, that was me? Whoops. Okay, I'm playing as Axel. Alright. Well, I'm playing as everybody since I'm reading everybody, but this character, the one that I'm playing as, the one who's saying everything, is Axel. Okay. I should write that down to remember. Let's see here. Not my W-2. Let's not write on tax forms, people. You need those. Those are important. Doing your taxes is important, or else you'll get in trouble. Plus, having money back that the government took for you is pretty nice. Alright. Axel is main character. Axel equals main. Alright. By the expression on their faces, it was easy to know that they were just as lost as I was. It was then we heard footsteps nearby that did not come from any of us. We all got dead quiet after that. I don't know if it was out of fear or to check if it was not a mistake, but we stayed motionless, like statues, without making a noise. Just looking at each other's faces, wondering the same thing. What is happening? What was happening? As if I could know. We heard the steps again. They clearly belonged to a human, or at least a large animal, but there is something strange about them. It sounds as if the person walked dragging one foot. Just thinking about it made me shiver. Damn! Why is this happening? It makes no sense! We should have returned home before, but now it's too late to regret it. I have the feeling that we are being stalked by someone. The strange footsteps stop, but I'm feeling the presence nearby. I don't know where it is, but I know that it's looking at me. That cursed thing is looking at me. My heart is beating anxiously. It's almost as if my body was telling me to get out of there. But strangely, my friend seemed unable to perceive it. It seems that it's gone. It must have been just an animal, said one of them, convinced that we were safe. I would like to believe that too. We had a sigh of relief, however bad luck would soon strike us again. Unexpectedly, the forest became darker than before in just a blink of an eye. But that wasn't the fault of the forest, but of our flashlights, which went out. For the three, only one, mine, was still working. What's going on? Did the batteries die? Asked one of my friends, scared while they both beat them desperately, as if that was going to revive them. I can't blame them. Ooh, too far back. Okay. I can't blame them. The idea of walking in the darkness was not a pleasant one for anyone. But after a few moments, we had no choice but to resign ourselves to that. Once more, the sounds of our footsteps was heard, but the silence is different now. We are not quiet because we have nothing to say, because we are afraid. We continue walking despite the fear that... Are you fucking kidding me? I'm getting a phone call right now. Oh, I hate everybody. We continue walking despite the fear that invades us. Invisibility invades us. Visibility is almost zero, but we have no choice. In theory, we're walking back, looking for the exit, but I can't remember anything for this. We could be walking in circles, and I would never notice it until it was too late. I hate the thought of it. I just want to get out of it. Suddenly, my thoughts are silenced. We heard the footsteps from someone, or something. Once more, the three of us became statues waiting for the presence to go. I hold my breath while feeling my heart beating anxiously. Damn! Get away from here and leave us alone! Unexpectedly, the steps are heard closer. This time, they do not disappear, but rather come at us. I cannot stand it. Desperately, I move my flashlight everywhere, looking for the author of those footsteps, hoping the light to reveal their identity and erase our fears. Nothing. 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 Is that all there is around us here? Just empty air? My anxiety grows with each failed attempt. I refuse to believe that it was a ghost. Suddenly, when I move my flashlight again, I see a silhouette. I could not distinguish... Oh, fuck. I could not distinguish what it was, but for a moment the light revealed something. Quickly I pointed at the same place, only to discover it was gone. I hold my breath anxiously. It was not an illusion. I am sure I saw something. It was then that I hear something nearby. Without even thinking, I aim the light towards that place. What I found leaves us paralyzed without an expression of disbelief on our faces. It was a white cat with eyes of an intense red, which stands before us. Her look is not the friendliest, to say something. Somehow, I get the feeling that it's a female cat. Suddenly, she lets out a thunderous meow and leaves us terrified. It sounded more like a lion roaring than a simple cat. The echo of her meow was heard through the forest, making it sound more sinister than it should be. It was then that suddenly an inexplicable force hit us three. I fall to the ground little by little, my eyelids close, the fatigue becoming unbearable. I lose consciousness on the ground of the forest without knowing what was going to happen with me. Before night falls. So that was the intro to the book. Okay. So far, I think... So far you're just three kids, you're Axel, and then you have two other friends. You're walking through the forest and you met a white cat. Cool. That's cool. And that's the interlude? Or is this the interlude? I guess we'll find out. Let's continue. You don't need to see me. Go away. Shh. It is a day like any other, so normal that it is almost painful. The only special thing that could be said about this is that it's October 31st. Far were the memories when I was a kid and went out with my friends to ask for sweets from house to house. Just remembering it made me sigh. I feel nostalgic. Some things were better when I was a child, or at least it seems that way. There were some who had good costumes. There were some who had good costumes, whether of superheroes or monsters. My friends and I, on the other hand, had to use our imagination. Creativity was our costume, you could say, no matter how funny it could sound. I remember that my mother once painted red my face and told me, "You will be the devil." But it seems only she saw it that way. When we went from home to home, everyone said I was a tomato man. That's cute. But those things didn't matter to me since we always had a good time. If I asked for candy now, even if I had the best costume, I'm sure no one would give me anything. Except perhaps a scolding for acting like a child when I'm 17 years old. But anyway, I can't stay in the past. I must live in the present, no matter how little exciting that might be. Back to reality.
Oh, there goes gravity.
We are a group of friends who don't have any plans for today. We are still not old enough to go to a disco. And I doubt guys as us would have any luck in that environment. The other option would be to go to a party, meet girls and have fun. Everything perfect except that nobody has invited us. Not being popular has one of its disadvantages. Hey, Axel, let's have a couple of matches. What do you say? My friend Steven called my attention while playing with his game console. Shred, I can't believe that's what the game is called. A fast and quite complicated fighting game for me. I would normally agree to play with him, but for some reason I didn't feel in the mood today. I have no desire to play now. I replied with discouragement. I almost feel bad for doing it. Boring! The AI is no rival for me, Steven said with confidence. That you're playing a normal difficulty doesn't... That you're playing a normal difficulty does not help argument. I don't feel like losing, but if you want... I don't feel like losing, but if you want, you can challenge to Alfred. Oh, this is so hard. Like, I can't tell if I'm just really bad at reading here, which I am. I know that for a fact, but at the same time, I don't think this is I think it was originally in Spanish and then poorly translated or something? I don't know. Oh, keep going. I don't feel like losing, but if you want, you can challenge to Alfred. I said, leading the attention to my other friend. I don't know how to play that. So Alfred's in the room too? Jesus! I was asleep in the bed, and now I have two friends with me in this bedroom as well? Huh. Okay, let's continue. Answered Alfred with doubting for a second. He is sitting... Okay. Sorry, I got distracted there. We'll cut that out. He is sitting behind the PC, but it seems that he isn't doing anything interesting. The screen only shows a lot of text. I think he's in Wikipedia. Hey, don't you have something more fun to do? I asked with discouragement, without even thinking about what he was reading. Alfred looks at me surprised. The actual problem of society is that people are not interested in discovering their history. He is one of those pseudo-intellectuals always looking for any rare information that appears smarter than others. I'm gonna give... Axel's main. Axel is me. Okay. Then there's Steven, even though he... He is room 1. Okay. Alfred. Room 2. Let's give them voices. What does Alfred's voice sound like? He's pseudo-intellectual. When we forget our past mistakes, we're doomed to repeat them. He added later. What are you talking about? This village is small and its story is not interesting at all. Nothing outside of the normal has ever happened in it. Alfred laughs mockingly after hearing that. Your ignorance is worthy of praise. He pauses, filling his chest with pride. The very fact it is a small town is the reason it's full of mysteries. Did you know that 20 years ago, on this date, a man disappeared? So, what about it? I asked without being impressed or even interested at the least. Things like that happen all the time in this place, in all places. As I thought, you don't even know the history despite living in the very place. Alfred said while adjusting his glasses in an arrogant gesture. There is a legend behind the disappearances. That is what I was reading. After listening to him, I looked back at the computer screen with curiosity. It's then that I noticed that it was not a Wikipedia, but some other page. Come on, read this and learn a little. Alfred said, inviting us to read what was on the screen. Both Stephen and I moved closer to read it. Town of Abigon, Oxfordshire County, 1994. I came to this town with only 4,000 inhabitants to support them in an investigation. Truth is that never in my life have I seen something this strange. I won't say your typical detective-ish nonsense that I have seen thousands of strange things in my life. I've seen many crimes, yes, some difficult to solve, but all of them were human. Even if you don't know how they managed to perpetrate the crime, you know that there are all people like anyone else. In this case, I don't think I'm able to say the same thing. Truth is that I can't understand what is happening. I was called for the disappearance of a man named Matthew Graham, 23 years, single. The last time he was seen was returning home from a Halloween party. He had drunk alcohol but was still sober, or at least that's what the witness said. Anyway, this is not something which can be explained with simple drunkenness. He apparently got lost on his way home and decided to enter a forest called Oakwood. It had rained yesterday and the ground was wet and muddy. We could easily find his traces, which were leading deep inside the forest. Apparently he walked for 3 hours before stopping. I say stop, but the truth is we don't know what happened to them. The tracks suddenly ended in a clearing in the forest, and that's all. There was no evidence of struggle, no trace, or pieces of clothing on the ground. There was no blood, no more footprints, or anything else. The depth of his last footprints and the positioning they were in indicated that he was still walking. At no point he stood still. It was as if he vaporized in thin air, with all his clothes, in the middle of the walk. Obviously, I can't believe such a thing, but I can't give any other explanation. The only thing I remember is that near the footprints I sensed a faint smell of rot. However, there were no animal corpses nearby. It was ridiculous to think he suddenly started to decay and become earth. And the end of the case was closed in just 3 days. No evidence of any kind could say anything, but he decided to escape from the village. However, while officially there was no more to do, I couldn't sleep in peace. Thinking about what could have happened to him took away my sleep. In my mind, I thought of all theories, like maybe everything was a plan developed by Matthew, but in the end they all seemed impossible. I decided to investigate more on the issue. I searched the town for similar stories, and to my surprise I found 4 more, all young men. The story was always the same. They walked into the forest alone, disappearing without a trace. Even more curious is that all of them disappeared on the same date, October 31st. But there is more. A detail that completely eliminates the possibility that there is a killer or kidnapper behind this, and that's the separation of the years. Roger Bacon disappeared in 1924. Mitchell Smith disappeared 1867. Jason Black disappeared 1813. And the worst of all, Oswald Taylor disappeared in 1707. It simply couldn't be possible. My curiosity led me to dig deeper. I thought that the answer may be in the past of the forest. It was then I discovered that what seemed to be a simple and boring forest actually hid a great story. Before it was called Oakwood, or Oaks Forest, the place was called Wickwood. The word wick was a huge similarity with witch. Taking into consideration that it's an old name and the language changes over time, that indicates that it was the Forest of Witches. Apparently more than 400 years ago, the people of the village believed witches lived in the woods. Unfortunately, almost all the information is already lost. There were stories told in voice, without a popular written record. I just know that the changes of religion to Christianity, people stopped seeing the witches with good eyes and began to hunt them. Apparently the last one before her death cast a curse on the forest, which even today should continue to exist. Anyway, I obviously can't accept something like that as the answer. In the end, I have no choice than accepting that each one of them escaped from the village, using the legend of the forest to make it look like it was something supernatural. Interesting story. I didn't know such a story was hiding in this town. I said, honestly surprised. Even if it is a lie, I managed to hold my interest. Wait, there's something more, Alfred said at the same time he scrolls to the comments. He read what was written there. A couple of comments call our attention. Both of them talk about some creature. At the same time they felt a horrible fear for what could happen to them. Well, the 2 comics share great similarities. But they could have been written by the same person. There are many others that deny it. Looks like many people went to the forest because of the legend, but couldn't find anything. I thought that you only read those things to look more cool before the girls, replied Stephen as a joke. Alfred giggles with a little shame. Partly, yes. He admitted it. That was a secret everybody silently knew. Well, now we have an activity for tonight, Stephen said at the same time. He made a face overflowing with enthusiasm. What? I asked, completely lost. I thought we were just killing time. Simple. Let's go to that forest. Stephen replied without hesitation. He seemed really fascinated by the story. Are you insane? Said Alfred, unable to believe what he just heard. You only needed to look at his face to know he did not like the idea. Despite everything you've heard, you want to go? Of course, it would be a test of courage amongst us 3. Replied Stephen, full of confidence. Perhaps too much. He should relax a bit. Don't tell me you're afraid. No. Why should I be afraid? Answered Alfred. At the same time, he folds his arms, making a false gesture of security. It's more than obvious that you're afraid, Alfred. Almost as much as when you have to talk with a girl. And what about you, Axel? Don't tell me you won't come. Suddenly Stephen asks me at the same time, looking at me mockingly. Don't tell me you want to be a chicken of the group. I hate the tone of the voice. Oh. Don't tell me you want to be the chicken of the group. I hate the tone of the voice he used. I will never give you that, I said without thinking, showing a confident smile and look. Well, let's not say any more. Take your coats, backpacks, flashlights, and some food. We're going to the forest, Stephen said, full of energy. Yeah! We three said in unison, as if we were going to have some kind of private party, not really knowing what we were doing or what we were going to find. Let's see, how long have I been recording for? A good while, since my camera stopped recording. Apparently. Alright. I didn't even notice. It just stopped halfway through, I guess. Shitty. Why did it even... Oh, because it only has 20 minutes. So I've been recording for more than 20 minutes. Fuck. Alright. Well. Nah. When I think I have a solution to do longer videos, I find out I don't. Jesus. I need to get a webcam. I've been using my DSLR, so I guess the next purchase is a webcam of some kind. Alright, but I'm going to end this episode here. So yeah, I guess we read the first 2 chapters of this graphic novel. I'm going to keep this going. I'll probably do this game every Wednesday. Kind of a calm game to relax us on our hump day needs, you know. But, yeah, until then, I'm Sre-Cuffs, and I will see you all next time. Bye, world!